Shabbat Shalom and welcome. We'll get started with Yedid Nefesh. I need to fix one thing and then we'll get started with Yedid Nefesh. Yedid Nefesh Harachama So Shabbat Shalom. We'll continue looking back on our week, trying to find a sense of the things we've accomplished, to be able to find at least a moment of joy and accomplishment as we enter into our day of rest. And so we'll use that to bring us to a place of giving thanks with Lechu Neranena. Lechu Neranena l'Adonai, Nariya l'Torishenu. Lechu Neranena l'Adonai, Nariya l'Torishenu. V'kama chama v'toda, Yizmirut Nariya lo. V'kama chama v'toda, Yizmirut Nariya lo. So we'll continue with Psalm 29 as we rise. Mizmor LeDavid, Havu Ladonai B'Ne'elim, Havu Ladonai Gadol, Havu Ladonai Kevod Shemo, Yishachavu Ladonai Le'amet Kodesh, Kol Adonai Ad Hamayim, El HaKavod, Yirim, Adonai Ad Mayim Rabim, Kol Adonai Ba'Korah, Kol Adonai B'Hadan, Kol Adonai Shover Arzim, V'shaber Adonai et Azeh Halanon, V'yakidem Kemo Egen Levanon, B'Sirion, Kemo, 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 Kemreimim, Kol Adonai, Chotzev Ladotesh, Kol Adonai, Yachil Midbar, Yachil Adonai, Midbar Kadesh, Kol Adonai, Yechol Elayalon, Vayecheso, Ye'avo, Ye'avo, Ruchei Chalon, Kulo, 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 Omer Kavod, Adonai Lama, Yashab, Keshed Adonai, Malach Leolam, Adonai Yos, Sheyamo Yitein, Adonai Yevarech et Amo V'Ashav. So we'll continue with Lecha Dodi as we welcome the Sabbath prayer. Lecha Dodi, Lecha Dodi Likra Kala, B'nei Shabbat Mekabela, Lecha Dodi Likra Kala, B'nei Shabbat Mekabela, Shamo v'zachor b'diborecha, Ishmi'anu el ha'meyuchad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, V'shemo tiferet v'letfilah. Lecha Dodi, Lecha Dodi Likra Kala, B'nei Shabbat Mekabela, Lecha Dodi Likra Kala, B'nei Shabbat Mekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'necha, Ki mekor haberkacha, Merosh mikadem nesucha, Tzal ma'aseh b'machshavat tchila. Lecha Dodi, Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat Mekabela, Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat Mekabela. Nikash melech lemelucha, Kumisei mitoch ha'apecha, Kavach shevet be'yamekabacha, Ve'hu yachmol alayich hana. Lecha Dodi, Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat Mekabela, Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat Mekabela. Nikash melech lemelucha, Kumitzei mitoch ha'apecha, Kavach shevet be'yamekabacha, Ve'hu yachmol alayich hana. Lecha Dodi, Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat Mekabela, Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat Mekabela. Ibna Ari me'afar kumi, Nifshi b'kei tifartecha mi, Al yad ben Yishai b'tamachni, Koreh be'al nafshi ge'ala. Lecha Vilikakala Neshabat Nekabela. So we continue with Lote Voshi. Lote Voshi Velote Kami Matishtachachi Umatami Bachachasu Ani Ani Benita Iratila Echadodi Vikakala Ene Shabane Kabela Vayulim Shisa Shosayich Verachakuko Evalayich Yasis Alayich Elohayich Yimsos Tata Matana Kala Echadodi Vikakala Ene Shabane Kabela Yaminus Mo Ifroti Bet Adonai Tariti Agadish Parti Mismecha Benageba Adodi Vikakala Teneshava Nekabela. So we rise and face our entrances. Shalom So now continue with Shalom Rav, our prayer for peace. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki Ata Melech Adon Lechol HaShalom. Ki Ata Melech Adon Lechol HaShalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov Einecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה לשלומך. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. So Shabbat Shalom. Someone who enjoys playing and exploring in the outdoors. I depend on trip reports that people will post on social media or in a few publications. That as people go on a good hike or do a good climb or find a good area to go backcountry skiing, they'll write about it, and this is helpful both week to week as it lets you know what the conditions may be in certain areas, but it also in general lets you know what to expect. So if there's something you see on the map that you're curious about and you're able to find a good trip report, you're able to read it and understand whether or not you're able to do it. But of course, there's then going to be another level of trip reports. And these will be, the sort of nearly professional athletes, the people with almost superhuman health and stamina that fill the Vancouver area, who are able to go to areas and do truly amazing things. When I read them, it's really a reminder of what my limits are, but still, it plays an important role and it's enjoyable to read. And so I think we're able to see in this two levels. That on the one hand, as we then see people's experience, that it's useful in order to learn practical knowledge. They're able to perhaps see what you're able to do advice of how you're able to do something that may be difficult, but something that's well within your ability. But then we'll have other moments where it'll be a mix of inspiration, perhaps thinking that you're able to push to capture some of that energy, but it also provides a sense of wonder at seeing just what people are capable of. And so we're able to see our Torah reading this week, Parshat Mishpatim, end with a sort of spiritual version of a trip report, that it describes how God tells Moses to bring his brother Aaron, his nephews Nadav and Avihu, along with the 70 elders, up onto the lower slopes of Mount Sinai. They go, they have a ritual meal, and they're all able to then have a vision of God's feet. But after this moment, it describes how Moses will then continue up the mountain and will stay there for 40 days and 40 nights. I think we're able to see this as having both those layers at once. That when we remember the revelation at Mount Sinai last week, we saw that as a very intense experience. That was very difficult for the people to be able to even hear the words of God. And so it was showing that in some ways, our religion has times where it does need to be mediated. That even as we want to experience the world, that sometimes there are things that are too much for us. And so, as Moses then would go up and down the mountain, it showed that Moses somehow had this other strength that seemed to have just a different, that he was just a different kind of person who was able to survive such a close encounter with God. But when we read about the way that Nadav, Avihu, Aaron, and the other elders are able to go up the slopes of the mountain, it's supposed to be more of that normal trip report that is able to give us the inspiration that no matter where we are, we're often able to go a little higher on that spiritual journey than we imagine. But as the story continues, we're then still supposed to wonder at what Moses is able to do. And so part of the message that we are able to take into our own lives is that when we see the spectrum of what people are capable of, it's a reminder that even if we may essentially stand in wonder of those who are able to go much further than we would ever be able to do, that we are always stronger than we realize. And this is something that's an important message this week, that as we then are having to draw on a different spiritual strength, of the strength of being able to support each other during times of grief, that it's a reminder of then how far we need to push ourselves. That this week, as we continue to see, the past few weeks, as we had the joy of seeing many of the hostages in Gaza return home to their families, we knew that eventually that we would need to also be able to watch as the remains of hostages killed in captivity were also returned to their families. That this is an important step for them to be able to find closure, so that they as families and we as the Jewish people are able to have closure. And so as we hear about the experiences of the hostages held in Gaza, as we're able to then learn more about the fates of those who were murdered in captivity, it becomes a reminder of the way that all humans have a greater capacity to survive in the most difficult situations than they ever should have to. And so this week then, as we both recognize the injustice following the way that Hamas paraded the bodies in a grotesque way in the handoff ceremony, as well as mourning the murder of two innocent children of Ariel Kafir Bibas, as well as seeing the irony of seeing the irony of the way. Sorry, his name just slipped my mind. Of seeing the way that Oded Lifshitz, after spending a life working for peace, was ultimately murdered by Palestinian terrorists, is something that shows the need for that strength, and something that even as then we all need that strength, as we recognize that the remains that were supposed to be for Kfir and Ariel's mother, Shiri Bibas, was incorrectly identified, that we hope that with the body that was handed over today, that the family will be able to find closure. And so, even as we're able to then have wonder at the strength of what the hostages have endured, it's a reminder that all of us, in finding ourselves on the spiritual path, of having a greater strength of being able to face challenges that none of us expected, it's a reminder that we're only able to do so when we do it together and we're there to support each other. And so I hope, as this is a difficult week, that we're able to then find that support within our community, as well as we continue to then pray for the remaining hostages. And so this week, we hope that the handoff of Abraham Mengistu, Elia Cohen, Hirsham Al-Sayed, Omer Shem Tov, Omer Weinker, and Tal Shoham go well, and that they're able to return to their families safely. For those who are continued to be held in captivity, we pray that they may soon go from a place of darkness to light. And so we'll continue with the prayer Achenu. Achenu, Ko Bet Yisrael. Achenu, Ko Bet Yisrael. Hanetuni Betzara, Betzara Uvashivyan, Omdim Ben Bayan, Uven Bayabasha. Amahakom Yerachem, Yerachem, Alechem Leotzia, Mitzava, Yivacha, Ulechem Aleova, Yishibu, Tigel Lakashta, Bakava, Mizman Kalim. We'll continue with Misha Berach, a prayer for physical and spiritual healing. Misha Berach, Avoteinu, Mekor HaBracha, Leimoteinu, you're the source of strength, to bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misha Berach, Imoteinu, Mekor HaBracha, Avoteinu, bless those in need of healing, with a Ruach Shalema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. This week in our Har El community, we are remembering Harry Furman, father-in-law of Patricia Furman, Marilyn Cooper, wife of Dick Cooper, Ralph Siegel, father of Alyssa Meadow, Harry Ostroff, father of Adele Cohen, Bernie Cohen, brother of Diane Jampolsky, Basa Chaya Toltz, grandmother of Michelle Hack, Eric Niedermeyer, brother of Michelle Hack, and Goldie Nitkin, mother of Irv Nitkin. Pray that their memory may be for a blessing. We continue evoking the end of Mourner's Kaddish with Oseh Shalom. Oseh Shalom ben Ramah, Yaseh Shalom Aleinu, Le'alko Yisrael, Ve'imehu, Ve'imehu, Amen. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Le'alko Yisrael, 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 Ve'imehu, Ve'imehu, So Shabbat Shalom, thank you for joining. And so services will be in the sanctuary tomorrow at 10 a.m. And this week, Kiddush is sponsored by Bradley Cornwell and Ali Nathanson in celebration of them joining the Jewish people. On Sunday at 2 p.m. at Vancouver City Hall, the rallies for the call for the release of the remaining hostages will continue. And then here at Har'el, at Sunday at 2, as part of the JCC Book Festival, we'll have Dr. Karine Rishkovsky sharing An Improbable Life, My Father's Escape from Soviet Russia. And then looking further ahead, or I guess continuing, the next Sisterhood Book Club will be Monday, February 24th at 7 p.m. on Zoom, where Marilyn Chodom will be leading the discussion over the book Caste, The Origins of Our Discontent. And then looking further ahead, this Wednesday, February 26th at 10 a.m. will be the next Challah Bake. We'll also be doing a family Challah Bake on March 2nd at 1 p.m. Also on March 2nd, as part of the Wexner Scholar Series around Vancouver, we'll be hosting Dr. David Shoivitz, so that'll be Sunday at 7 p.m., asking if there's ever been a Judeo-Christian tradition. And then our next seniors lunch will be Wednesday, March 5th at noon, where Dr. Rosalind Kunin will be talking about the economic outlook as, the looming effect of the tariffs. So that should be a good chance to learn. And then we'll be having our Purim events. And so on Sunday, March 9th at 11:30 a.m. will be the Purim Party for Children. And so it's part of the Hebrew school, but all families are welcome to join, even if you don't have your kids in our school. And then we'll be having our Purim Party Thursday, March 13th at 5:30 p.m. With Megillah reading as well as a drum circle. And then Sunday, March 16th at 3 p.m. will be at the Sisterhood movie watching This Is Where I Leave You. Oh, and then also starting in March, we'll be having yoga on Tuesday. So and there's also the Wednesday class, so still very busy. And so we'll finish now with Vishamru and our grape juice. And as we're doing a service here tonight, will be no challah right now. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael Shabbat Asudet HaShabbat V'dorotam b'chitotam V'niu b'nei Yisrael oti le'olam Oti le'olam Oti le'olam Vishamru b'nei Yisrael Shabbat Asudet HaShabbat V'dorotam b'chitotam Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et ha'aretz v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha'shabbat v'asot et ha'shabbat v'dorotam b'chitotam Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et ha'aretz v'shamru b'nei Yisrael Shabbat, Asot et HaShabbat, V'dorotam b'chitotam. Uvayom hashvi shav v'chei nafash, Shabbat v'chei nafash, V'shamru b'nei Yisrael, Shabbat, Asot et HaShabbat, V'dorotam b'chitotam. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. So I wish you a